Hi everyone, welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Lottie and this is the spoilery vlog for GILD by Raven Kennedy. So yes, as the title of the video says, this is going to be my spoilery book diary vlog for GILD, the first book in the Plated Prisoner series, which is by Raven Kennedy. So this is a adult fantasy romance series and it is a King Midas reimagining about a woman who has been gold touched. I am very excited to read this series, so that's why I thought I would do a vlog series for each of the books. So this book and the second book were on my TBR Scrolls March and April TBR, so that is why I'm starting the vlog now. And if you have seen my Tower of Dawn vlog, you will probably recognise this little setup because I have just finished Tower of Dawn and I have just wrapped up that vlog, so I'm jumping straight into the Plated Prisoner series because I just really want to get to this. I'm so pleased I finished Tower of Dawn because now I can fully focus on this series. I've been waiting and waiting to start it. So this was on my March and April like compulsory TBR for the TBR Scrolls. I had the Sheogorath wild card where I had to randomise 5 books for my TBR, and 2 of them happened to be GILD and Glint, which was a big coincidence. So I'm very excited to start this. I don't know if I'm going to read them all back to back, but I'm definitely going to be reading GILD and then Glint probably straight afterwards. But obviously the last book, which I think is Gold, doesn't come out until December now. It was originally meant to come out in about June, but it has been pushed back. I do have it pre-ordered. I have these really cool fancy editions. This series did get picked up by a publisher in the UK. So Waterstones did these editions. I think this is just like the standard sort of cover, but it does have yellow sprayed edges and these like fancy spines, but there's nothing like under the dust jacket or anything. And these books are signed by Raven Kennedy, so I have GILD, Glint, Gleam and Gold that are the signed editions, and then Glow is just the standard hardback. It doesn't have sprayed edges and it's not signed because I missed the pre-order for that one, unfortunately. But yeah, so I'm very excited to dive into this. Obviously I haven't started it yet, but I will be starting it probably this evening. It's not very long. I think it's only about like 400 pages and the writing is pretty big in this book, so I'm just really excited to start it. I obviously don't have much thoughts to say about it, but I've heard very good things about this series. I don't read Greek myth retellings, reimaginings very often, so I'm not sure how I'm going to feel about that, but I don't really know too much about the story of King Midas, so I feel like it's probably going to be a very fresh, new kind of story to me, unlike the millions of Hades and Persephone retellings that there seems to be at the moment. I love those, by the way, like don't think I'm fed up of them. I just feel like there is a lot out there right now. But yeah, I'm just really excited to start this book. I don't really have much else to say. I feel like I'm just rambling at this point, but I don't know, I'm scared I'm not gonna like it. I am scared, but I feel like I'm gonna really enjoy it. So yeah, I will update you guys when I have read some of the book and actually have some thoughts to share with you. Dust jacket back on because I am a good booktuber, so you don't have to look at the blank white underneath it. So, reading update. I'm on page 187, which is the start of chapter 18. So I have made a lot of progress since I started the vlog. I just haven't had the chance to do a reading update until now for you guys, but I am really enjoying it so far. Yeah, nearly the halfway point. I'm absolutely loving it. Like, I just can't put it down. First of all, I'm really into the setting and the idea of the 7 kingdoms. We are obviously following Auron, and she has been basically enslaved by Midas, and she just can't see like the situation that she's in. Like she has a very serious case of Stockholm syndrome, because there is no way this girl is that naive, surely, but she could be because from what has been revealed about Auron's past is she met Midas when she was about 15 and he rescued her. He saved her from a life of being on the streets and being a prostitute. She probably feels like she owes him something because he did save her, but also she's so completely in love with him, and it's obvious that he does see her only as a possession. And the point where I'm at now is Oren is on her way to Fifth Kingdom to go and meet Midas. So I can't believe how much has happened, and it's like so fast paced. So this is why I'm a bit annoyed at myself for leaving it so long to do an update, but I just didn't have the chance to do one yesterday, and I've been doing a lot of my reading while I've been on the train to and from work, so it's not like I'm going to do an update while I'm on the train, but I'm trying to like gather my thoughts together, but I'm just really into it so far. I did have a little theory that there's 7 kingdoms in the world of Auria, don't know. There's 7 kingdoms, and I did wonder if these 7 kingdoms are going to represent the 7 deadly sins. So Midas is gold touched, he rules 6th kingdom, so I was thinking maybe that's either going to be like pride or greed. And then there was 5th kingdom, and I wondered if maybe that was going to be to do with gluttony, because the king was like, he could duplicate everything. And then we also know a little bit about 4th kingdom, which I did wonder if that was going to be maybe something to do with sloth or envy perhaps, because the king is what, like, nicknamed King Rot, and like he just kind of makes everything go gross and like dead, decomposing. So I thought maybe that could be something to do with sloth, but like it's a very loose theory, because obviously like I feel like 5th kingdom and 6th kingdom match up fairly well with 2 of the 7 deadly sins, but 4th doesn't quite fit in, and then obviously we don't know anything about the other kingdoms at this point. But I am very interested in the kind of overarching plot that seems to be developing. Obviously this series is probably about Oren and her. I feel like it's going to be about her becoming free more than anything. And the one thing I do know about this series is that the actual love interest is the villain of the series. So I did wonder if the love interest when he is introduced is going to be something to do with 4th kingdom, because that's the only one we know a lot of. Well, I say a lot, we know something of at this point. So I wondered if maybe that was going to be that's what's going to happen. But so far King Midas has betrayed and killed the king of 5th kingdom, so he's kind of in 5th kingdom watching over it for the time being. About 3 weeks has passed since the king was killed, I believe, and Oren is on her way to Midas. So yeah, the king did promise Oren to the king of 5th kingdom if he provided his army, and so that whole thing happened. I felt Oren's fear, I felt her disgust at the thought of having to service this disgusting man, and I'm glad that nothing did happen, but it was still horrific to think. Yeah, it was just disgusting. I really dislike the term saddle as well to describe the king's like concubines. Well, because they're not even really concubines, they are literally just saddles, you know? He rides them. I think it's a very clever word. It's a word I really dislike being used to describe these women, but I feel like that's the point of it. It is obviously kind of very well respected almost. Well, not respected, but these women are thought of highly because they are selected for the king to be there to pleasure him. But at the same time, they are not seen as anything other than possession. So I feel like it's a very touch and go word. I really don't like it. But I'm really enjoying the narrative as well. I really like Oren as a main character. I'm very interested to see her grow as a person, because at the moment she's very quite naive. She's very like contained, like she's not seeing a lot of the world. She's also really funny, which I was quite surprised by, but she did make a very good point that when you are the only person you're kept in the company of for such a long time, you kind of have to be the funniest person that you know. So yeah, I'm just really enjoying it so far. There's a lot that's happened, there's a lot of things to think about. I feel like it's just very interesting. It's certainly nothing I've never read before, and I'm very excited to see where it's going to go, to see when this love interest is going to be introduced, and to see how Oren will free herself, because at the moment it's very kind of contained, where Oren is in love with Midas. She feels like he owes her something, and I'm interested to see how that relationship's going to change, but also what's going on with this main plot. What is Midas plotting? Why does he want Fifth Kingdom? Why, after all this time, has he decided to breach hundreds of years of peace amongst the Seven Kingdoms? So it's very interesting. I'm looking forward to seeing further developments. So I'm now on page 302, or the start of chapter 31. I'm still enjoying it. I'm just a little bit surprised at the lack of romance in this first book, at least, but I do feel like this is a lot of setup to get Oren from the situation she's in at the very start of the book to meeting the love interest. So over the last sort of 100 pages, mostly what has happened is she has been travelling from Sixth Kingdom to Fifth Kingdom through the frozen mountain tundra. It's very cold. There's a lot of snow. She has developed a little bit of a friendship with Sail, who has been one of her guards on this journey, and the other saddles, still hate that word by the way, still resent her, because the whole time they've been travelling has been about save Oren, or protect the king's favoured, rather than anything else. But then, right as they were about to pass through the barrens to get into Fifth Kingdom, they were attacked by snow pirates, which I thought was very interesting. I really like that they had these like fire tigers or whatever they were. I feel like this is the first real bit of like magic fantasy we've seen in this book beyond the powers that Midas and the King of Fifth had, and also Oren's ribbons as well. I don't think I've mentioned Oren's ribbons in my vlog so far. I was a little bit like grossed out by them at first, the idea of these things protruding from her back, but I'm getting used to it. I think they're a very interesting thing, and it's clearly shows that she has some sort of power, because these developed before she was gold touched. So it clearly shows that she herself is going to have some kind of power in the same way that Midas has got power, etc. So yeah, they've been captured by pirates. Her friend Sail was killed, very sadly. The pirates thought it was absolutely hilarious that his name was Sail, and it was disgusting the way that they mounted him on their sailless ships, because these ships are pulled by like animals, because it's in the snow, it's not actually on the sea. Yeah, and so she pulled him down, and she's being punished for it, which, you know, I'm not surprised. But the whole thing, like, it was a little bit slow going, because it was clearly a little bit of character development, but for the most part the travelling I'm just not that interested in. Like, I do find just reading about travelling in books a little bit boring, in the way where it's just like day after day going on the road, you know. But it was interesting to see Oren kind of get a little bit more of that friendship between the guards, I guess. So what is about to happen is there has been a note delivered to the pirate captain that somebody is on their way to him. I have no idea who that could be. I feel like it could, at first I kind of thought, oh, what if it's Midas, who has somehow heard of what happened, because I don't know, they were late arriving, but I feel like it doesn't make sense for it to be Midas and a party to rescue his saddles, his guards, and Oren. I feel like he just won't pursue that, to be honest. So then I wondered if it could be somebody else, maybe Fourth Kingdom? All we've heard about Fourth Kingdom is that they're the bad guys so far, so I feel like it would make sense for some representative from Fourth Kingdom to be going there, and maybe in sort of a liaise with the pirates. The pirate captain said that he's going to have like a big meal ready for them to welcome them. So I don't know if it's going to be like a fight, and he's like being sarcastic, or if it's genuinely someone he is welcoming on board his ship. But I do feel like it wouldn't make sense for it to be Fourth Kingdom because of where Fourth Kingdom is on the map. Which at first I was really confused about why Midas was trying to attack Fourth Kingdom. Like, Fourth Kingdom is not connected. Fourth Kingdom is not connected to Sixth Kingdom whatsoever. You've got Fifth Kingdom in the middle here. But obviously Midas's plan all along was to betray the King of Fifth so that he could have Fifth. So I guess maybe eventually he would go for Fourth, who knows. But yeah, I want to know who's on their way to the pirates to see what's going to happen. I do want to try and finish this today. I've only got about 100 pages to go. I did hope to finish it on Friday, but I didn't. When I got home from work, I was like, yeah, I'll read all evening. I'll finish the book. It is the peace talks for Realmathon this weekend. It's Sunday now, and I've done not a lot of reading. I had a pretty bad day yesterday, so I didn't read very much, but I've spent a lot of the weekend playing video games, which is what I've tended to do over weekend now. So I played Resident Evil 8 and finished that instead of reading this on Friday. And then I just tried to read a little bit of this yesterday, but I literally was like exhausted, so I couldn't do much. But yeah, I'm hoping to finish this today, but I do have also a big list of other things I need to do as well. I need to do some revision for a resit for my course. I need to sort out a thing for my job application. I need to edit a video to go up because I didn't do that yesterday. So I have a lot of things to do. I also need to take a parcel to the shop because I need to send that. Yeah, I've got a big list of things to do, and it's like already 12 o'clock. So yeah, but I will hope to finish this by the end of the week. Week? What is it? Sunday. By the end of the day. That's what I want to do. So I will see you guys later when I have another reading update for you. I was right about the people going to the ships being Fourth Kingdom, and we've also seen a Fae character. So I'm very interested to find out more about him. I have a feeling he's going to be very important. After just reading the following chapter, which is a little bit of history about what happened to Seventh Kingdom and the realm of Anwin, where the Fae come from, I definitely think that this Fae character is going to be very, very important, because where has he come from if the bridge to Anwin is gone? The rape scene, horrendous. It was awful, but Oren ended it by turning the captain to gold. Excuse me? Did she know that she could do that? I very, very nearly finished the book. The last chapter is from King Midas's perspective, so I thought I'd do a little update just before I read that, because what has happened? Yeah, she turned the guy to stone, the captain to stone, and she and Rissa chucked him out the window. Great conclusion to this man's life. Hilarious. This is the first moment where Oren really comes face to face with Commander Rip, and I definitely feel like he is probably going to be the actual love interest of the series. Like, the way that he's been described, there's literally like 3 pages of just describing his appearance and his presence and his aura. So I do feel like he's going to be a very, very important character, possibly the actual love interest. And it's made me think that this entire book is basically like a prologue to the actual series, the actual story, the actual romance, in the same way that ACOTAR is the kind of prologue to the actual plot of the whole series and Rhys and Feyre's relationship. Because obviously in that book, like, Rhys is barely in it, even though he's the main love interest of the whole series. So yeah, I feel like Rip is gonna be the main guy, but he says to Oren, so this is King Midas's pet, "I have to admit I didn't expect to find a goldfinch." And she replies, "I know what you are," obviously referring to the fact that he is full Fae. And he says to her, "Funny, I was about to say the same thing to you." What is Oren? What is she? Who is she? Why is she so important? That there's gotta have been a reason that Midas chose to gold touch her and make her not like solid gold, but made her gold. I'm so glad that I'm going to be picking up the second book immediately, because I need to know like what's going to happen. I finished it. I did it. I didn't think I was going to finish it today, but I did. Obviously I gave kind of live updates while I was finishing the last kind of 80 pages. Yeah, I loved it. Probably going to be a 5-star read. I haven't core piled it yet because I've literally just finished it, but I feel like there is no question about it. It's going to be 5 stars. It was fantastic. So that last chapter, from Midas's perspective, he has received word that Fourth Kingdom have Oren. He obviously only cares about Oren and the fact that they have his precious, and he has thrown a shit fit. So yeah, not surprised about that. He really gives me Tamlin vibes, you know, in the way he's reacted to this news, the way he treats Oren, his whole demeanour, very, very Tamlin. And then at the very end, there is an interesting poem that kind of reflects Midas, I think. I don't really know what that is gonna reflect in terms of the series, but it's called Golden Goldvine Part 1. So I feel like there's going to be like a part 2 at the end of book 2 that will carry on this poem. I love this book. It was so good. Fantastic. It was just really good. Hello everybody, so I am now wrapping up the vlog for GILD by Raven Kennedy. I really hope you have enjoyed hearing my thoughts for the first time reading this. I have absolutely loved this book. I have core piled it and I did rate it 5 stars in the end. I feel like this is the start of a new favourite series for me. It is giving me the same sort of vibes that I had when I read ACOTAR for the very first time. And when I read the first book in that series, I really enjoyed it, but I wasn't like fully in love with it at the time. And then when I read the second book, when our actual love interest was introduced, I really loved it. And I feel like that this series is going to play out in the same way for me, where as we're getting to know Oren and we're going to find out about the actual love interest and that relationship kickstarts, I feel like that's when I will really start to love this series. Obviously it is a 5-book series and this is only book 1, so there is plenty of time for me to fully love it, but I definitely feel like it has the potential to be a all-time favourite up there with ACOTAR, with Crescent City, with Twilight. I'm sorry, I still love Twilight even today. Yeah, I feel like it has got full potential for me to really truly love it. And I really enjoyed this book. I've put it on my favourite shelf on Goodreads, but I'm not quite like fully in love with it yet, but I definitely think it's got that potential. Since finishing the book last night, I don't really have many more things that I really have to add about my thoughts. I just really loved it. So 5 stars, absolutely fantastic. So that is the end of this vlog. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please remember to give the video a big thumbs up and let me know in the comments down below all your thoughts and feelings on GILD. Please do remember to keep them spoiler free though, in case anybody has clicked on this video who hasn't read the book yet and happens to go straight to the comments. If you haven't already and would like to be, please do consider subscribing. I post a new video every single week, and that is it from me today, guys. Bye!